FIFA 21 defending tutorial. By the end of this video, we're going to get you approaching defending just like the pros do. Let's get into it. Welcome back, or if you are new here, my name is Brabsy, competitive FIFA player and your FIFA 21 coach. This is a highly requested one every year. It is the defending tutorial. We're not just going over the basics here, we're actually going to improve your mindset so you can take yourself to that next stage when playing FIFA. I'm confident you'll get a lot out of this, so please do enjoy and subscribe to the channel if you've not already yet for all the latest FIFA 21 tips. Let's get into it. So we start off with one of the most important moves in your defending arsenal, and that is the jockey button by holding the L2 or LT trigger depending which console you're playing on. As you'll notice here, when we're jockeying our opponent, we're actually leaving a distance in between ourselves. This distance is really important because it makes it tougher for our player to get past us. Rather than going in and tackling our opponent, we're keeping ourselves a steady distance so that they can't use any skill moves to get around us. When they do try and get around us, we've still got enough recovery space to either block the shot or get a tackle in. An easy way to work this into your mindset is to ask yourself, what do we want to achieve from defending? So the challenge isn't on you to win the ball back, it's actually on the opponent to get past you and try and score. So don't get frustrated, just sit back and relax and stop them from being able to do that. So instead of going in for a tackle or trying to force and press your opponent, just stand back a little bit, stand them up with a jockey and block off their passing routes, their scoring options, and force them into an error so you can either tackle them or intercept a pass or shot. Next up is a secondary press and player switch. When you lose the ball, the first thing on your mind should be to block off any opportunities for your opponent to play a through ball to their striker and counter-attack you. We do this by holding the R1 button to send a player to go and press the ball holder whilst we manually position a defender in the way of any passing opportunities they may have. Once we have positioned this defender, that's when we would press the L1 or right analog stick to player switch to the player near to the ball holder so we can start trying to win the ball back. This technique is going to be really important to us later on in the tutorial. I do really recommend going into a skill game and practice some 2-on-1 situations so you can get used to using this combination. So here's a couple of quick examples on how this can be used. In this particular situation, we can see a winger is running down the outside, so we just actually back off our jockeying player, knowing that we have a player centrally that we can still switch to cover any crosses into the box. So similar scenario here, we go in to press the ball player and then realise there's a spare man out wide, so just back off and wait to hit that L1 player switch and cut out the pass when it comes in. The whole purpose of the secondary press is when we spot that there is a clear pass on for the opposition. Like we see here, we switch to cover that pass whilst holding the team press button, and when we know we've got it covered, we can switch back and make the tackle. Finally, a tip on the analog movements when jockeying your opponent. This little zigzag motion keeps your defender on their toes, ready to turn either direction and block the shot on goal. Meanwhile, for the attacking phase, this is why I coach people to counter-attack with a quick give and go passing style. Makes it a lot harder to predict the passing areas. No longer feel daunted when facing opposition like this, just have in mind how you're going to go about making life difficult for them. So all the fundamentals here: jockey distance so they can't skill around you, track the runners so they can't play it in behind, and don't overcommit to a tackle until you know you can intercept and win that ball back. As for your own attacks, keep things sharp and unpredictable, and don't be afraid to turn and pass backwards to go forwards again, thus making it harder to read and intercept your play. Same again here, controlling the player in the centre of the pitch and sending other players to do the pressing with the R1 button. Meanwhile, we're waiting for that pass centrally to block the shot and relaunch an attack of our own. Really frustrating for their opponents and really effective for us. The reasons we're doing all this is because when opponents have players like Neymar, they want you to press them, they want you to tackle them so they can skill around you. By maintaining a distance and not overcommitting yourself, you're frustrating your opponent and leaving them short of options. Before long, you force them into a mistake and the ball is yours once more. You've seen the outcome of this in the last video and now you know how we do it. Let your opponent have possession and mess about with the ball and just wait for the right moment to take it off them before devastating them with attack after attack. So a few final tips to conclude this video. Avoid the temptation to use team press unless your opponent wins the ball back deep into their own half. By doing this, you can quickly apply the pressure to re-win the ball back and continue your attack exactly where you left it. If you are not 100% that you're going to win a tackle, then the simple answer is don't. Instead, just keep yourselves in between your opponent and your goal to minimise any passing or shooting opportunities they have. No matter how long this takes, keep your composure, don't feel the pressure. You know full well you will win the ball back one way or another, just let your opponent keep trying and get more and more frustrated. Not one tackle needed to be made. A horrible flaw in the refereeing of this game means that most fouls do not draw a card, so don't be afraid for a well-placed cynical foul to stop any counter-attacks happening and help you get your players back. It's things like this that will really help you grind those wins out in FUT Champs. Whilst I'm not proud of this, it's my job to help you get wins, and it's EA's fault, not your own. So until it's patched, use it to your advantage to stop any clear-cut chances. Now come on, that was a red card tackle every day of the week. Instead, we've not even got a booking, given a free kick away in a non-threatening area, and quickly turn possession round to go up the other end and kill the game off. Literally, if I was my opponent, I'd want to rage quit right out of here. See ya! I hope that was useful for your team. Practice those settings, and I'm confident that this will improve your game the next time you come up against your friends or opponents in Ultimate Team. As always, let me know in the comments what you thought of this. I try and respond to as many as you can. Give the video a thumbs up, and please do subscribe to the channel if you've not already. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one. Seriously, how horrible are those red card fouls? I was wondering whether to mention them, and then I thought, you're here to win games. I'm here to tell you how to win games. EA needs to take it out of the game, so hell, let's just do it until they patch it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna edit this and have a beer. Or maybe 2 beers. 2 beers sounds a good idea.